Welcome to the Home Building Hub, your essential podcast guide to building your new home. Hosted by industry experts Colin Bischoff and Darren Brennan, this conversational podcast will help better educate you about all things new home building so you can avoid costly mistakes and enjoy your building experience to the fullest, no matter which home builder you choose.
Hey guys, before we kick off on the episode, I want to introduce you to a new phase of the Home Building Hub. We have decided to go back to school, that is SKOOL. We've created a community based on the back of a podcast we've been running for so long now. We've created a community for you, for all home buyers to jump in and get access to a whole range of tools, checklists, information, and most importantly, find other home buyers in there so you can follow people's journeys, you can share your own journey, and we're excited to build the most trusted community that is independent and objective in the whole country. So get in there, it's SKOOLschool.com. Look up Home Building Hub, download the app, come and say hi, and we will see you in there. Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Home Building Hub. You're with Colin and co-host Darren Brennan as always. And today we're just going to go through something that does confuse people a little bit there, Daz. Colour boards or colour palettes versus colour selection appointments. What are they? Which one's the right one for you? How does it work? That's what we're going to cover really quickly today. How you going, mate?
Going real well. Yeah, great. The sun's out. Maybe the bad weather's behind us. It's rained a lot of late, so I'm getting sick of the bloody rain, mate. Anyway, it's nice to look outside. The sun's shining. It's a bit of blue sky. I know it's early on a Saturday, but hopefully we're heading into some nice weather moving forward, mate. Looking forward to it.
Perfect. Well, let's just get straight into it. It'll probably be a short and sharp episode, this one, Dazza, but I think well worth covering for people who are just trying to work out the difference as they're in the early stages of their home hunting.
Right? That's the bit. Which way? Am I going left or am I going right?
Yeah.
Colour boards, colour selection appointment. So let's go, mate. Tell us all about it.
Excellent. All right. Do you want me to do the colour boards or do you want to do them?
Mate, I'm into the colour boards if you want. So I guess the key is, in this is which way does the customer go? Do they go down the path of which many builders will offer a colour appointment, but and again, some will charge a fee for that. So always ask the question: is it included or is there a fee for that? It's one of the most exciting parts of the build is selecting these internal and external finishes. But which way do I go? So the two choices are either a colour board or a colour selection. I'm going to talk about the colour board selection. So a colour board, it's a predetermined colour palette of external and internal finishes curated by a designer. That's the key bit. Don't think that some bloke like me's doing it because I'm hopeless at that stuff, right? Wouldn't want it if I've done it. No, I'll probably be okay, but it'd take me forever to try and work out what's right and what's wrong. But and the experts are doing it. These interior designers that pull these colour boards together, they're fantastic at it. And it's going to suit a really broad audience because that's how they design them to do. But it's also going to look really nice when it's built, right? So don't be fearful that it's going to look crappy. It's going to look great. They often come with names like classic or urban or coastal or Hamptons. Just means they're all different colours, right? Pretty simply. It's streamlined, right? And so it's often also associated with ranges that builders offer that are quite streamlined. So again, it's process driven for the builder. So if they've got a really streamlined range, they want to get you to site really quick, etc., they'll often put a colour board to that. So it does make the process quick and easy. You don't have to wait for an appointment or any of that. They can do it on the spot. You want A or B, let's go. It's ideal for speed, simplicity. And the other one I think it's really great for is if you're on a really tight budget, it's great for cost control. So it'll either be free and included, or there might be an upgraded version that's got a small cost to it. It might be $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, whatever that is. But you know what the cost is. There's not like I'm going there unknown. Am I going to spend $1 or am I going to spend $100,000? Right? That isn't the case with colour boards. So you've got those sides really easy. It's fixed choices. It's faster for approval. So for things like the developer approval, it's really great for those because often that they already know that they're going to be compliant for the most part with most developers. Um, it's designed by professionals, as I mentioned already. It typically includes pre-selected bricks, render, flooring, tiles, cabinetry, bench top, your handles, your paint colors, all of that stuff, right? So they're already picked for you. Makes it nice and easy. There's limited opportunity for personalization. So it's A or B or C or D. That's it. You're not going to really be able to go, but I want a different brick. Unfortunately, with these, they're set and forget. So if you're wanting a different color brick, unless the caveat I would say on that is unless one of those colors don't meet the developer guidelines, and they may have specific colors in there, and they may need to adjust because of that. But outside of that, generally the builder's going to say, take it as it is. That's the option you've got. It's ideal for first home buyers, investors, or anyone who doesn't want to be overwhelmed by the decision making process. I can say I've been down the path of this before, and I found it fantastic. Because I didn't want the decision making at that stage in our life, it didn't suit us. So, it was great that it was already pre-selected, and it looked fantastic. The house looked great. Um, I guess our suggestion is if you're time poor or building an investment property, color boards take the stress out of the design. Everything's done for you, ready to go. So that's color boards.
Hmm. Yep, I'm a big fan of color boards, Daz. We use them a lot here. My last couple of houses I built all color boards,
Yep, for sure.
investments. Like it's just we've all seen those clients who want to change the color of the piers at the front, or it's like, mate, why would you do like? Are you going to live in the thing? No. Like, does it really matter? Or a first home buyer? How long are you going to live in it? Is it going to be your dream house? No. Don't worry about it. Just get your house
Right.
on site and construct it quickly because that's where you're going to save some money.
Yep.
Don't worry about the bloody color of the window frame. Like, people overcomplicate this process, and that's why color palettes are really good. There are also people out there, like I've got a friend who just doesn't care about colors, or he doesn't know anything about colors, and he understands that it's not his forte. So he just says, I don't even want to go. I just get confused at a color selection appointment. So just give me the simple one and just let's move forward.
For
So
sure.
it suits certain people as well. So, and on the other side of that, let's not. I don't want to discredit color appointments, but there's benefits to color boards. So let's move into color appointments because there's some cool stuff there, right? So obviously, like a personal design consultation, and it's with a consultant from the builder, or in some cases, some builders outsource that role to an interior designer or someone of the like. It takes place usually in a studio of some kind, like a color selection studio. And quite often they've got like all the bricks and the tiles and the carpets and all the electrical items. They've got them spread in strategically in different spots, a bit like I don't know, like a supermarket, but for home selections, I suppose.
Yeah. They
And
give
they
them
take you
fancy
through.
names to those places too, usually, right?
What was that?
So they give them nice fancy names to those places too. Make it feel luxury, which
Yeah,
is
they
great.
do.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Well, you want to feel a bit special. It's your house, and this is for the people who do want to take that extra step and time and have the pride in. Look, I picked that color off that bench top, and that I would say is Daz. It's got to be 90% of owner occupiers. Like it's got to be a lot. They're in that boat. Um, I think it's really important because there's some stuff you can't really change or control in your build process, but colors is one of the things that you can, right? So you don't want to just disregard the consultant's advice. I suggest you do take the advice, but it's a really good experience for you. And if you've got a partner that are going through together with husband, wife, etc., then that's really cool because you can do that together and do a lot of homework up front and pin things and whatever. We've done an episode on that before, and get yourself prepared and off you go. So that's a pretty cool experience. Yeah, everything from bricks to bench tops, tapware, you name it. Um, I think one of the things that we have to acknowledge, though, is that it adds time to your build and it adds cost to your build. Okay, so you have to accept that that's the case. So your building quote will have builder's standard range carpet as an example. Now you may upgrade that at your time that you're spending with your consultant and say, I want to go up to category 2, category 3, whatever. But a lot of that stuff happens later at the color appointment instead. So you just have to make sure that you budget for a certain amount of money, So I don't know, Daz, what your average spend is there, but I know it can range anywhere from some are minimal. If you've got a hell of a lot of inclusions up front in standard and your quote's been filled out with lots of upgrades, you're likely to spend less because it's sort of covered up front. But sometimes you might have an entry level builder that's nice and, I guess, competitively priced. Builders range this, builders range that, and there might be 5 or 6 items that you go, you know what, I want to go above and beyond on those items. So you will have to pay for those. So
I think also on that commentary you're saying there, Colin, when you say builder's range, that's the builder's range, that builder's range, not all builders' range, and that's why the cost can vary too. Because
yeah,
one builder offers 2 bricks, and the next builder offers 7, all in standard. So asking those questions is really important, and so that you understand before you get there. Um, you ask the question. So people who shop with us on a single story, usually somewhere between 3 and 7 grand, and on a double story about 20. It would be the average. But I've also worked at another builder where on a single it was 20 grand, and on a double it would have been 40 or 50. And
yeah,
again, different buyer types, but also different inclusions. So just sort of understanding, and budgeting for that too, asking those sort of questions so that putting your quote up front, that an allowance to spend at that colour
yeah,
selection studio.
yeah. So it's important to understand that you have to budget for that, and you have to understand when your color consultant appointment is. And make sure if it's pre-contract, then you can sort of spend what you want within budget, and then you get your contract signed, it's all included, and then you get your finance. But some builders quite commonly, Daz, they do their colours after contract.
Yeah. And I
You
think more
know,
and more are heading
yeah,
that way too, Colin.
yeah. So it's sort of shifted that way, and you want to make sure that you can budget for that. They can, yeah, sort of put it all in, and you get your finance accordingly. But just important for you to make sure you're not spending all your money just on the building quote prior to your colour appointment.
For sure.
Yeah, appointments duration, they can range. Like if it's a smaller single, it could be 2 or 3 hours, but most of the time it might be as far as 4 hours or even up to 6 hours. Especially if you've got double stories, and it might be split across 2 different days.
Yep.
So that's something to factor in. You might have to take a couple of days off work because it's not going to happen on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So make sure you factor that in and understand how that's going to work. Your builder will have information for you on that. Do your homework is one of the things that we've talked about before. A lot of people don't do enough homework. They walk in and they go, okay, where do I begin? But you want to understand, like, is it, is your tiles or your hybrid or your timber flooring, is everything along the floor going to be, a darker theme, a lighter theme, or something in the middle? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're going with coastal, or you're going with this, that, an idea really helps your consultant narrow down the options. Okay.
I think the other bit in that, Colin, is if they offer a tour to go in and have a look, do it. So you're pre-prepared.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to do it a couple of times, you're going to be less overwhelmed when you go into that colour appointment. So they often, a lot of these studios are open on a weekend for public viewing. So just find out off your sales consultant if that's the case. Do I need to book an appointment to do, go in for just a tour? And check out the place so you know what you're getting yourself into, because it's very overwhelming if you don't. You walk in,
Yeah.
the one our one, it's as big as, like, honestly, it's about half a Bunnings store. Like,
It's a
it's
whole factory.
huge. It's
Yeah.
massive, and it's so impressive, but it's massive.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like that. Like, and you're like, whoa, I got to pick
Yeah.
all this stuff. Where do I even start? Where do I finish? How am I going to do this? Whereas once you go in and you've done that a couple of times as tours, you start to realize, I'm just picking the bricks. Now I've got to go choose the roof color. Now I've got to choose this next bit, and they guide you through it. They're amazing at doing it,
Yeah.
and they will help you the whole way through. So it's fantastic.
Yes, so preparation is the key because once you've finished all those selections, it's very unlikely you're going to be allowed to go back and start changing them all over again, because that will just cost more time, energy, effort, and hold your job up. So when you make those decisions, you make those decisions. So it's a very, very amazing part of the experience that you can influence how your home is going to look and how it's going to feel. But it is certainly one that does overwhelm a lot of people. Okay, so you want to be prepared. You want to take it step by step. Make sure you've got the right selections for you in advance as much as you can, and themes and things like that. The Pinterest boards and whatever really do help. So yeah, I think the cost varies as well as we discussed. So standard inclusions versus upgrades. Some builders will have more inclusions in the quote up front, therefore less upgrades you need to pay for, and vice versa. But the different ranges are quite confusing. So that's why you've got to have preparation, go in for the tour, as Darren said. It's really ideal for owner occupiers, custom builds, obviously, and really just clients who want to impact that part of their process and have their own sort of specific style or in line with trends that they prefer. Like, do you prefer black tapware throughout the whole home and the hinges and the trims all black to match the drains and things like that, or you're more a chrome person or a brushed nickel or whatever? Like, that's your call. It's all there,
Expert on it, Cole.
mate. Look at me go. Um, yeah, I'd be a bit like you, I reckon, Darren. I don't care about any of that stuff. Any decision made in this house
Does it
was
look
not mine.
nice?
Huh?
Good, I'm happy. Does it look nice? I'm happy.
I'm more the structure, which is fair. But my boss here, we refer to her as senior management. She makes the decision on all those colours, the flooring we've got, whatever. I couldn't even tell you what it is, and I honestly don't care. But some people do. So for those who do, then yeah, let let them take control, and off they go. Whereas yeah, wouldn't want to. You could tell the house that I picked the colours for, Darren. If I actually had to pick them, it'd be the worst one in the street. That's the one Colin picked.
Or it'll be like the wall behind you, all white.
Yeah, white on white on white. Nice and
Yeah,
simple. That's
easy, easy.
yeah,
We're on to something there. I've heard it looks good.
very simple. Yeah. So anyway, that's a really good one. I think it's a great opportunity. Everyone sort of will enjoy it, but it can be overwhelming. So please pick the best one for you. Daz, let's get into the pros and cons.
Well, the pros and cons, I guess, if we're talking about speed, the colour board wins hands down, right? So it's much faster, colour appointment longer. You've got to book an appointment. You've got to find a time that suits you. With colour appointments, bear in mind they're generally only available during the week. Tours are available on weekends. Appointments themselves during the week for the most part. But talk to your builder. Personalisation, colour boards, very limited personalisation. Color appointment, fully customizable. Every bit you touch can be customized. Cost control, obviously color boards, fixed cost, tick the box. It's that amount. It may well be included. It may well have a small cost to it, but it's a fixed amount. Color appointments, it depends. You can spend $1. You might not spend any at all. You could spend. I've seen up to the record. I've seen $400,000 on a home in a color appointment. So and it's a big, grandiose house. Yes, it's not just a little three better in the suburbs. It was a magnificent home, but they spent 400 grand. So it depends on what your budget is, what you want to select, what your choices are like. Expertise. Obviously, the color boards. You don't have to be an expert. You've got those designer curated color boards all done for you by an expert. The color appointment, you're going to be guided by an interior decorator every step of the way. They'll help keep you on track. So if it's going to look crappy, they'll probably tell you maybe in a roundabout sort of a way without offending you, but they'll try and guide you back to something that's going to look really nice. Stress levels, color boards, tick the box, really low. As we mentioned earlier, color appointments can be overwhelming. So do your homework, do a tour, make it easier. Who are they ideal for? Investors, first home buyers with color boards, owner occupiers, custom clients, someone looking to make significant upgrades, changes, got something specific in mind that they really want in their house. Color appointments ideal. There we go.
Good. And lastly, how to decide which one's right for you. I guess based on the list you just went through, Daz, it's pretty straightforward. You'll know which one's good. But, based on your budget, your timeline, of course, your personality is probably the key. If you love doing that stuff, then definitely get amongst a colour appointment because you'll sort of regret it if you don't. It's like, oh, I wish I could have picked that colour or that colour. So if you feel like that's you, then just definitely do that. Make sure, if it's included in the price, which it often is, but sometimes it can be extra for a colour appointment, just check that. But if you just want to get the house built, you want to get moved in and get rolling, whether it's you're going to live in it or not, like colour boards, they're done properly and they're pretty good. So I wouldn't, if you don't know, I think it eliminates the stress and the overwhelm component quite easily, gets you to contract quicker and things like that. So pros and cons depends on you. That's ultimately what we're trying to say here. But now you've got a good understanding, I guess, of what path you want to choose, what you want to go down. So, yeah. Anything else to add there, Daz?
No, mate, it's an exciting part of the journey no matter which way you go. So, invest a little bit of time into it and make sure that you pick the right option for you.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Any feedback, we'd love, please jump on and give us topic ideas, whatever it may be, homebuildinghub.com.au, and a 5-star review. We'd love that, please. And thank you very much on the platform you're on. Other than that, we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Home Building Hub. As part of the podcast, we have to be a little careful to cover ourselves on a legal standpoint. So we do have a disclaimer. Whilst we're all about providing value to you, this podcast should not be considered legal or financial advice. It does contain general information only, and you should seek out independent professional advice on your own personal situation before you make any legal or financial decisions.